All right, welcome back to the Offbeat Sports Podcast. We're going to talk about some baseball. We're going to talk about the Red Sox record prediction for the shortened 2020 season, 60 games, and they're going to only be playing against the AL and the NL East. So I'll start off. I think they're going to go 38-22. Nick, what do you think?
Do you want to explain that first?
No, we'll just go around and say our records first.
All right. Well, I think they're going to go 500. I got them at 30-30. I wish I could put them higher, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I have them at 30-32. So, Karen.
I got 32-28.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, Karen, to the show.
For
thanks for having me, the
limited
boys.
time as possible. So I can say I think that every single team in the MLB – I'm not going to say that I know everything about baseball. I don't. I'm just going off of what my pure or just straight off the bat thought would be. I think every team's going to benefit from the shorter season because I think everyone's going to stay fresh early and they're going to – and it's still going to be early even even technically late in the season is going to be early in a regular season for them. So I think that will help the Red Sox. Obviously, it will help every single team, but I think it will help the Red Sox because I think their bullpen is subpar. I think everyone knows that. But I think that it will benefit them to have all their arms stay fresh because it'll be such a short season. I don't know if my record will stand, and I'm sure they'll be
I think that doesn't make sense, though, because for most teams who have a better top of the bullpen, those guys will stay fresh. If the Red Sox top of their bullpen will stay fresh, it doesn't really make as much of a difference.
Yeah, also, if everyone benefits, that just means no one benefits because it just cancels out if everybody benefits.
I'm just saying it can only make the Red Sox better, and I don't know how much better it can make them in comparison to other teams. It might benefit them a little bit more than it benefits other teams. I don't know that. I'm just saying that that's something that could happen. And in that case, I think they would be a little bit better. And I think, you have some guys, and obviously you lost Mookie Betts, which is hard, but you still have Xander Bogaerts. You still have some other guys on your team. You still have Devers. You still have some other really talented players on your team that I still think can contribute. So I don't know. I'm being optimistic, obviously, because you guys all think it's going to be at least 6 wins less than what I have. But I'm just being optimistic as to – if they play at the best potential that they have with the roster that they have, I think they can be.
That's a huge what if, though.
Yeah, I think because last year they were just over 500, and that was with Mookie Betts and with Chris Sale. This team has absolutely no pitching, and in a shortened season, it'll help the teams that have the better top of the pitching.
Oh, I definitely agree that it'll help the better bullpen.
I actually think it might hurt them, but
because the best guys can stay fresh for longer.
There's also the two – they're facing the two best divisions in the MLB. And, you can argue which one is one, but I don't think you can make an argument that any division is better than the AL or NL East. The NL East is 4 teams that could potentially win the World Series. The AL East has the Yankees and the Rays, both playoff teams. And the Blue Jays are a sleeper team as well. They added Ryu. They added Travis Shaw. They added Tanner Roark. They added some pieces that can benefit their team. And they have a young team with Vladdy and Bichette as well. So the Blue Jays are a sneaky good team as well.
Yeah, but either way, the Red Sox are an average team at best. And with that schedule, there's no way that they have a record of even a few games over 500, especially without guys like Mookie, who on a 500 team or just over 500 team last year.
Baseball that people talk about is one player doesn't have as much of an effect on your win-loss record as in other sports. So I think
but it helps.
Oh, it definitely
barely over 500.
It definitely helps, and I think. Well,
my thing is
it's not just him; it's Sale too.
Oh, I understand. It's 2 players. I have key lineup players. I don't disagree with you at all, but I think the idea that obviously, it's significant drop-off from your talent at those 2 spots. But in baseball specifically, out of other sports, I think it's a lot easier to pick and plug guys because of the fact that they don't have – it's not as much of a team game as much as some other sports where it's constantly moving and constantly you have action between everyone that's
But
on
you
the
still
field.
need
– Yeah,
good
I think
baseball. You
he's
still need good
100%
baseball.
right about that. He's 100% right about that, which is why I have them going exactly pretty much the same thing without Mookie. I don't think they can do better. I have 32-28. I think that's the absolute best. And my reason for that is I think Pilar replaces Mookie 100% well defensively. He's just as good as Mookie defensively. And then Verdugo isn't as good as – he's not nearly as good as Mookie, but if Benintendi gets better – Benintendi had a down year last year. So if Benintendi gets better and then you have Verdugo replacing what Benintendi was.
You also can't expect Bogaerts and Devers to repeat what they did last year because they had career years.
Devers is young.
That was only just over
Devers is
500
22. Devers
you can hope that they improve, though.
Yeah, but he had the best year of his career, and it wasn't even close. And Bogaerts obviously had the best year of his career. So that's if they repeat that. And
but I mean, you can also say that it benefits them to have a shorter season because then they have a smaller time and they can be better in a shorter window. Which is
so to be a just over 500 team, they have to have Benintendi step up to replace the void that Mookie left. They have to have their pitching step up. They have to have Erod repeat. They have to have someone replace Sale. And they have to have their bullpen step up. And not to mention they need Devers and Bogaerts to repeat. And that's to be just over 500.
But you can also look and say that you can say it's very possible that Devers and Bogaerts improve. Am I wrong? I mean, Devers.
I would say Devers, but not Bogaerts. I think that's going to be Bogaerts' best year. I think Devers has that again in him. And I think that
I'm not going to pretend that exactly.
I mean, I don't know a lot, but I used to play baseball and I used to watch baseball, but slumps are huge, and there's not as much time in this season to get out of a slump for a player if they end up getting in one, and it's probably very or I don't even know the word. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's probably going to happen. There's probably going to be players that get in slumps, and they don't have that long ass season.
Every game matters.
Yeah, shortened season. Nationals don't even make the playoffs last year if you take the first 60 games. But there's another take you can have with the Nationals where they lost Bryce Harper and they got better. So Bryce Harper is not Mookie Betts, but he sure is close to it. He's one of the best right fielders in the league.
Guys stepped up, though. Guys like Soto stepped up.
So why can that not happen with us? We can have guys step up.
Like who? Who can step up?
You could take Benintendi's one prime example.
Okay, Benintendi. So if he steps up, hold on. If he steps up and he replaces Mookie, at the very best, that's impossible to think. But if he does, then we're just over 500 team, and that's without Sale. So
my other thing is that Porcello lost us a lot of games last year. I think he had 18 or 19 losses, right? He lost us a ton of games. I'm not
okay. And our pitching's worse.
Yeah, I originally thought somewhere in the 29-30 win range, but then I broke it down team by team, and there's a lot of teams like the Mets and the Phillies and the Nationals. I see us going 2-2 against each of those teams. So I think if you really break it down,
that's a good case scenario, though. Out of all those teams, I probably see them going 3-8, 3-5.
Yeah, but then I had 8-2 against the Orioles. That can easily happen at least. Mm-hmm. But the best team doesn't always win, so you never know that. And then 3-1 against the Marlins too. The Marlins are one of the worst teams in the MLB as well. So I definitely if you would take my non-biased prediction, it'd be somewhere in 29-30. But as a Sox fan, I'm saying 32. But I don't think any better than 32. I think 32 is at the absolute best, and that's if everyone repeats. But also,
that record would be an improvement from last year. Do you think the team
JD's another one that took a step down?
Okay, we have the hardest schedule. Do you think that the team improved?
No, definitely not.
But you have them having a better record and against better opponents.
Well, I don't have a better record.
I can say
that is a better record. 32-28 is a better record than what they had last year.
84-78.
Yeah, that's a better record than 84-78.
But I think I actually would say pitching matters less in a 60-game season.
Why?
Because it's whenever you open a season, like the first month of an MLB season, the starters go 5 innings, and then they come out. So we have a bad rotation. I don't think our bullpen's that bad. I actually think we have an above-average bullpen.
The Red Sox have an above-average bullpen?
Yeah. It's right around average.
Oh, my God.
In Barnes.
They have a bottom 10 bullpen.
Baseball, and
they have a bottom 10 bullpen.
I don't know anything about I don't pretend to know a ton about baseball, and I know you're wrong. But
they have a bottom 10 bullpen.
I wanted to ask something to you, to Nick here, because I don't know it, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. I probably should. How old is Bogart?
Bogart's he's in his 20s, late 20s, right?
I think he's 29, 30. I don't know.
Okay, well in that case, I can agree with you that you might not see an improvement from him, but you
27.
He's been 27. So I was right.
Okay,
so
so
he's been always good, but last year was his best year. It was
But Devers is 22. Devers can get better.
But how much can you improve on the year Devers had?
I mean, Devers is like 22, right?
That's what he just said.
We just said that, yeah.
So
but he had a career. Yeah, but you can't improve on the year Devers had.
Nick, I'm not saying 30. I'm saying 2 more games than you said.
I know, and I'm saying they go 500. In a 60-game season, 32 and 28 is a big difference from 30 and 30.
I mean,
there's no way they improve on last year against this schedule. You're saying they improve.
My record's obviously an outlier, but I'm just being optimistic as to everyone plays up to their potential kind of thing and looking at it as the best possible outcome that I see for that team. Like, I don't think they're going to win more than 38 games at the max. I know you guys are saying 500 or slightly above. I'm not like telling you they're going to be an amazing team. I just think that if, guys step up and they play to their full potential, like Benintendi comes back on fire and like comes back.
Benintendi's one of the guys I could see stepping up.
Well, like if he comes back off that after having a down year, and then you have other guys stepping up, and you have Pilar filling in that defensive role, and you have all these other guys stepping into place.
And also the best team doesn't always win. Like 2013. You had him as a 4th place team at best, maybe 78 wins at best going into the year, and they won the World Series. Not always.
Yeah, but that means that could happen with any team.
The Royals. And
I mean, couldn't you say it happened last year? Like Kieran, you were just saying, Bryce Harper leaves, and leaves the Nationals, and they end up winning the World Series. Like
Benintendi is a guy who can definitely step up, but the absolute best he can do is fill in for Mookie.
And I'm not telling
you if he does that. The whole team has to repeat what they did.
I mean, from everything
500.
Like from everything like I've read and stuff, like this format does not help the Red Sox at all. So I think I'm being optimistic at 500, especially from like what I know from them, like not having a great bullpen and losing some key pieces.
I'm just being optimistic, like I said, and the idea of everyone sticks to their role and plays to the best that they can play.
I think I'm obviously being optimistic at 500.
Not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but that's just what I think.
You know it's not going to happen. Why would you predict it?
Because that's what I think. That's what I want to happen more than.
If you want me to do what I want to happen, I'm going to go 60-0.
No. It's not more of like what I want. I think at the max possibility, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it as
it's not going to happen, but it's a max possibility.
But also the best offenses and the best team, that doesn't always translate into games. Like we were 4th in the league in runs scored last year. We had more than the Dodgers, more than the Nationals, more than the Braves.
Yeah, because their pitching sucked.
But we still had we're still 4th in the league in runs. And the pitching sucked last year as well.
Yeah.
Like they had the names Chris Sale and Rick Porcello, but those guys blew a lot of games.
Yep.
So if the pitching sucks this year, and we can score like Mookie's the best.
So the pitching is worse this year, which means we need to be better than 4th, which is not going to happen.
No, they got 14 games against the 2 worst teams in the league.
Yeah, and then a bunch against some of the best. You already talked about how good the schedule is, which it is. You're right.
I have 2 games over you. That's not a huge difference.
No, I mean in a 60-game format it is, because that translates out to more than you think.
Because that could be the difference between a playoff position and a non-playoff position.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs either. I think especially with only 10 teams. I think that hurts them.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. Kieran, I wanted to kind of go off something you said. Not every single game is won by the better team, and I think that's something I kind of want to give to the benefit of the doubt with the Red Sox too, is that, obviously, like I've said the last couple minutes, my record's more optimistic. It's, if everyone plays to their potential and fills their role the right way, it's just something I could see happening for them at the max. And I'm also putting into the fact that not every game is won by the best team. So the Red Sox can easily steal some games here and there.
I know you're being optimistic, Vosi, but
and I think I obviously you guys know more
happens.
about baseball than me. I'm not pretending that I know more than you guys because you guys know more than me.
Yeah, I know you say
But-
that.
Say it one more time.
They know more about baseball than me, and I know more about baseball than you. So this whole thing is stupid. But it's pretty dumb. But
Oh no,
I guess I would put them closer to like a 34 if I wasn't giving them the benefit of the doubt that not every team wins. Like, not every best team.
All right, we get that you're being optimistic.
Yeah, that's
No, I know, but I'm saying if I was to take away the
wasn't
fact
gonna
that
happen.
there's like there's a flux in sometimes where not the best team doesn't always win, where in some other cases in some other sports it's like you can clearly see the talent difference.
Yeah, because it all depends on the start your pitcher has. If your pitcher could go out and have a great start and you win,
It
but then
shows.
the
Well,
next
here's the
day-
other thing. Here's my other thing, Nick. And even you can agree with this, Nick. They last year, right? They won 84 games, but they underperformed as a whole. Correct? Like going into the season, if you look at that roster, you look at how the players did.
Yep, but the team is worse.
Thinking,
the team is
the
worse.
team
this
didn't
year.
get
There's no
worse
Mookie, no
from
Sale.
2018.
What? No,
You're
the team is
taking-
worse this year from last year.
Yeah, but we went from arguably like a top 5 team of all time, right? On paper and performance-wise. And we didn't lose anything players-wise. Maybe we lost Kimbrel. That was it.
And that was huge. And that was huge because the bullpen blew so many games.
Yeah, but we were 24 games worse.
Yeah.
Kimbrel's
So
not
we
in the-
underperformed. So
Yeah, I think
if
they
you lose
underperformed last year.
Mookie, but you overperform, it replaces that.
They underperformed because the pitching was so bad, and now it's even
you
worse.
lose Mookie and you overperform. That's based off of what you think you're
The one good pitcher they kept had a great year last year.
No, but
another guy that can
wait.
get better.
I think
Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes underperformed like crazy last year. We expected him to be our closer and be solid like he was in 2018, and he sucked last year.
Okay, so you think Matt Barnes is going to make up for losing Sale, Mookie?
No, but I think
Was Sale good
I
last
get
year?
what he's
No, he
saying.
wasn't.
He would have been the best,
Kieran's saying
best or
last
second
year,
best pitcher on this team.
We have Barnes in the bullpen, who
Yeah.
he's looking good.
Okay.
We got my
I forgot
man
about
Heath Hembry in
Hernandez.
there.
Never mind. No, they're nasty. I forgot about Hernandez.
No,
Sorry.
Nick, hold on.
Hembry's gonna walk in here with his hair looking slick, post-quarantine haircut, and he's gonna rock everyone. And you,
Shut up.
If you're talking about Hembry, that just proves why they're a 500 team.
Kieran's not good at trying to say what he's gonna say, but he's trying. I think he's trying to say like last year their team was supposed to be way better.
It was,
So,
yeah.
So realistically, last year's record is probably what this year's team should get, like around that area.
Yeah, but there's no Mookie or Sale.
And I admit that's
but
optimistic.
he's saying like last year's team was really good and should have been way better. So last year's record.
But
is
the guys who
actually-
are staying, who are supposed to step up, are guys like Bogarts, Devers, and Erod, who are not going to perform to the level they did last year.
Okay, so I'm curious as to, Kieran, you said that the team in 2019 was the same as 2018 besides Kimbrel, and Kimbrel does not make up for 24 games. We can all agree on that as a closer. I know it counts for saves and stuff like that. And,
Just spit it out.
Expecting to close. What?
Just say it. You don't have to.
Just shut up, Cross. Stop commenting on everything I say. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I don't care.
To give a full intro to
Good. I'm gonna if I want
Just
to.
say it. Just say it.
You're saying that that last year they underperformed based off what we expected of them.
Yes.
You're saying that this year they could overperform based on what we expected of them, and they could
overperforming would be over 500.
Okay, but hold on. That's where I'm going. But you can't say that it'd be better this year than last year, because if they overperform this year based on what we think of them right now, their record could still be worse than what they were last year, because if everyone expects them to be like.
But isn't it you that said they're going to be better?
No, I know, but I'm talking about your opinion, not mine. I'm talking about your argument, not mine.
I expected to be arguing in the other direction, but when I first broke down team by team and saw 32 and 28, I'm like, that's a little high. But if you look at game by game, and it's not always in the sport of baseball, it's not always this guy does better.
underperforming last year and overperforming this year.
Yeah.
You look at it,
here's
they
my
could
thing.
be literally the same thing, and then your team is just stuck where you were last year.
Okay, but there's so many guys who just can't
that's what
improve on the
Kieran's saying.
seasons that they had last year.
But Nick,
and you
it's
lost
not like you
Mookie.
break it down like, oh, Bogart's improved. Like, it's not like you break it down like that, and that's exactly how your record goes, because you could score 8 runs and lose, and you could score, you know what I mean? Like,
Which they could because their
last
pitching
year,
is so bad.
last year, Mookie got a little bit worse. JD got a little bit worse. Benintendi got a lot worse. But then Erod got a lot better, right? And Bogarts got a lot better. Devers maybe had the biggest jump in the league. So more guys improved last year than guys didn't improve, and we were worse.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, you're not talking about
just because you break it down player by player, and
they were so bad because of their pitching, Kieran.
Like,
that's why they were so bad. They lost Kimbrel, and their bullpen blew so many games.
Sale admitted that he was a problem. It was like, Sale's supposed to be your guy, and he admitted that he was losing your team's games. So, I mean, you're kind of saying that 3 guys got better, but your top 3 technically got worse.
Yeah, and those guys who got better,
if your middle of the pack guys got better, but your top 3 guys got worse, does it really even out if those top 3 are much more impactful?
Especially when you lost those guys. You lost Mookie.
And you don't have Mookie and Sale this year. I know I'm arguing.
I'm saying the guys who are staying, there's not a lot of room for improvement.
I know I'm arguing.
I agree with that.
I'm just adding.
I agree with that. But I'm saying over a 60-game span, we have hitters that, like, we still have a top 5. I would say we have the 5th best lineup in the league. I would say Yankees are better, Dodgers are better, Astros, and Twins.
Braves
no, not Twins.
The Red Sox are extremely overrated. I mean, like, it's like a top 20 team.
But top 5 lineup. Okay. And the pitching's bottom 10, but, like, you can still have a line. We're going to be scoring a lot of runs. And if you break it down, like, I had 3-7 against the Yankees. That's not unreasonable. 5-5 against the Rays. That's not unreasonable.
I think they probably go like 4-6 at least against the Rays.
Celtics talk right now because we don't have anything to say.
Nothing to say.
6-4 against.
I'd be happy with 4 wins against the Rays.
6-4 against the Blue Jays. That's.
So baseball.
You know any knock jokes?
I think that's optimistic though. 6-4 against the Blue
Jays.
Is.
That dude has an absolutely massive.
We're still better than the Blue Jays.
Debatably, it's close. They're a little bit better.
And the bullpen, Nick, our bullpen in the first half of the season, worst bullpen in the league. But second half of the season, they were actually pretty good. Like they
Workman was good.
Because Workman stepped it up, and Hernandez got called up, and Barnes stepped it. Like, Barnes had like a 5 ERA at one point in the season, and he ended like mid-3s.
Yeah, because he was facing the worst batters. Like, at the beginning of the season, he was facing the best hitters on every team. And then towards the end, he was facing the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, but Workman last year was better than Kimbrel was the year before. And we didn't have Workman the year before.
But Workman came in towards the end of the season. Kimbrel closed out every game. How many games did we blow in the 8th and 9th inning last year?
A ton, so many. But yeah. I think Porcello took us out of more games in the 5th inning than they did, than even getting to the bullpen.
Yeah, and now we don't even have him. And we have worse pitching.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could see what you said. I couldn't see what Bosi said. I see all your valid
No, there's no way they get 38 wins. I could see 32, but I just think even 500 I'd be happy with. I don't think that they –
I don't think they can improve without Mookie.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think 500.
And they don't have Mookie. So, in 32 and 28 is better than 84 and 79 and 78.
But it's right around it's closer to it than 31 and 29.
Okay, but you still think that they're going to improve, and I just don't see how that's going to happen unless those bottom guys step it up. All right, so final thoughts. 500 I think is a good scenario, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, me too. I think 500 is reasonable, and I think kind of evens out with the kind of what Kieran says is kind of evens out with the underperforming and overperforming this year. So,
I mean, I'm still being optimistic. 37.
I'm being optimistic, but I know it's not going to happen.
It's not even that I know it's not going to happen. It's just everyone's going to say that's not going to happen, whereas
you never know, man. Never know. 2011, we were supposed to be the best team we've ever had, and we sucked.
Didn't ask. Okay. Anyway,
13.
37
Never know,
38
man.
wins. That's
He was supporting you.
I know. I just don't care.
Hey, the important thing is baseball's back. I don't care if we go 10-50.
It's back and
Sports
like
back.
a bunch of
Let's
the stars
go.
don't show up, but yeah.
Best sport in the world at Cross at Boise. It's back. Let's go.
It's the best
Opening day, July 23rd.
That's an argument for another day, but okay.
That's not what the ratings say, but okay.
It's still above basketball in the ratings, so come talk.
Okay, because you have 162 games. This is another argument for another day, but whatever.
160 games versus 82.
That's why you need 162 so the best team wins.
You have to make a
That's
ratings
why.
that have a double the amount of games.
We'll have the NBA double their games so we can beat you in ratings.
No, that's exactly why they have 160 games, so that teams like the Red
It's
Sox
funny
don't win
because the
32
MLB will
games.
get better ratings this year because every game actually matters for once, unlike like a fourth of your season when you have 160 games.
Yeah, but over 162 games, the Yankees are going to wear you down.
120 games and still be
We'll
fine.
see. We'll see how the MLB.
The Yankees are going to wear you down, but over 60 games, they could suck. Who knows?
All right. Anyways, thanks so much. That wraps up this episode.
No,
I
we're
don't
not
care about
thanking-
Kieran's projection. Thanks for watching, and watch next time. And thanks. Okay. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch our other videos.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at offbeat_sports.